Alright there, folks. I got asked to make this video by a female, actually, and she wanted me to make this video according to, because she said, you always make videos, and she interpreted it as that I talk bad about women. And a lot of women, I guess, interpret it that way or whatever, that I talk bad about women, but I don't think that I do. So I thought about what she said and the perspective she was asking me to make the video from. Basically, she was wanting me to say that men are fucked up and they're defective. So I thought about it and thought about it and thought about it for a long time. Now I'm making the video. And I came to the conclusion that that's incorrect. Men are not defective. They're not. Because, okay, like, men only do what women want. Like, say, for instance, Tupac even said that when I rap, I don't rap for the men, for the niggas. I rap for the bitches, because the niggas gonna do what the bitches want. So you see, now that leads us to back to the fact, just all the way back to like my earlier videos, is that human women are defective. They are. There's no two ways. There's no two ways to slice it. They're defective. And so now, so what a player does is accepts the fact. He accepts them for the way they are. He accepts the fact that they're defective and manipulates them. Now, are all of them defective? No. How many are defective? About 8 out of 10. So a lot of the ones that are defective are hot, and so the guys want to get in their pants and stuff. So, you know, it's a trade-off. You know, like you got to trade off love or attention or money or a commitment or sex or something, the way they like it, you know, or something in exchange for what you want. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, so what a player does is he just listens. Okay, like first of all, women talk grammatically incorrect. Really, almost everything they say, there's no logic to it. Zero. Just no logic. So like, they use phrases like, no, but, like, say you're saying something. Say you're saying something like, if you get into a spaceship and you fly up to the stratosphere and you circle the Earth, you know, you can circle the Earth according to scientists, you know, in 2 years or something. Women will say, no, but you. Now, first of all, that's just a fact, and it's not disputed. So what's the but? And then how does that relate to me? Anything negative to me? I'm just making a statement. You see what I'm saying? So that's grammatically incorrect. And then we know that, according to Noam Chomsky, that language is generative. So language and genetics are the same thing. So something's wrong in the genetics, but they talk like that. And then they say that men are, you know, this, and that men are that, you know. But like most women, the majority of them don't work on themselves on the inside. They just don't. You know, even listen to more linguistics, like when they talk, the first thing they'll say is like, I don't think. So they're saying, I don't think. Like, I don't think the TV is big enough, or I don't think that mirror looks right. But if you listen to the linguistics of it, they're actually saying, I don't think. That's the first thing they say. So like, that's a genetic defect. So like, you know, it's like the player already knows that all women are defective. You know, not all of them, but the majority, the vast majority of them are defective. And you can't change anybody. So what the player does is accepts the fact, he accepts it, that women are defective. And then he moves on from that understanding and manipulates that aspect of them. Because what else are you going to do? Because if you don't manipulate that aspect of them, they're going to go with a guy that does. Because they're going to say that the guy that's being nice to them is too nice. They don't like him. Even Tupac said that in an interview when he was young. He was like, I was brought up to be respectful to women. I love my mother and stuff like that. And I was talking to this girl, and I was being real nice to her, and she said, I asked her, could I go out with her, and she said no. And I said, why? And she said, well, because you're too nice. And he said he tried it a couple more times, and all the girls were like, you're too nice. So then he flipped over and was like, fuck you bitches and hoes. He said then he had like millions of them. See what I'm saying? So it's practicality. Now women can understand the practicality because women are predators. They're the ultimate predator on the planet. Okay? So they can understand pragmatic activity. So that's how they are. You know, because they just about relationships. You know, sex, money, or love. Relationships. That's about all they're into. You know what I'm saying? I mean, men can be into all kind of other shit. You know what I mean? But for the most part, a woman's just into those 1-3 things. But all media is geared towards the manipulation of women, not the manipulation of men. Because the men will do what the women want. Like, first of all, the way they got women smoking cigarettes, back in the day, the tobacco companies, Alfred Bernays, who was Sigmund Freud's nephew, who was the father of modern advertising, just simply manipulated the minds of women through the media to smoke by associating it, by giving them their own penis, and that they were being defiant to men. Now that's ridiculous. You see what I'm saying? I mean, it's just totally ridiculous. And then what's his name? The Rockefeller, David Rockefeller, said that that they created women's lib. That it wasn't about women's equality or nothing like that. What it was about is that they could tax the other half of the population. So you see, it's all manipulation. And then the one woman will always make the other woman act just like them. Because if you listen to them talk, when they talk to each other, you'll hear them invariably say, "You're like me. You're like me. You're just like me. I'm like you." So that's identification. I mean, the Toltecs taught that identification like that is the most ridiculous thing in the universe, to identify with somebody as a victim. You know, so we live in this victim world and victim mentality. And women have been taught and ingrained in them from birth that they're victims, and they basically need a knight in white shining armor to rescue them. That's called the Cinderella complex. It was written, a book was written back in the 70s by a female psychiatrist called the Cinderella complex, where she identified that about women. And then there's another psychiatrist wrote this report that said that 8.5 out of 10 Americans can be classified as passive aggressive. That means 8.5 out of 10 Americans are neurotic. That's crazy. And we want the world to get better, and we're going to have a better world, and things are going to change. Well, you know, it's always best to stay optimistic. There's no doubt about that. I mean, if anything is going to change, it's going to be changed under optimism. But it's also really good to be practical, you know, and to understand what you're dealing with. Like, you know, I mean, if the wall is black and you want it to be white, you can sit there and think for it to be white all you want, but it ain't going to turn white until you get up and paint the motherfucker. So you got to do the work. You got to do the inner work. And that's like a bad word almost to women, because I hear them talking. I know, I talk to them all the time, and I hear them talking. That's too much work. They don't want to go in there and do that. See, we live in what's called the age of Kali. And Kali is the dark goddess. And she's a hideous creature. And basically, the average woman is an expression, an ideology of Kali. And what the player does, without knowing it, is that he accepts Kali. He accepts the fact that they're nuts. And he goes with that. And he just manipulates it. So, I don't understand why, you know, you get mad when you don't do any work on the inside. Because if you listen to women's dreams and listen to their dreams tell you that they're mainly, the majority of them are about deception, lies, and the majority of them are about They're stuck in an internal matrix. They're trapped somewhere inside of themselves in an internal matrix where they're about between 8 and 12 years old. I listen to them. I listen to their dreams when they tell them to me. You know, so I tried to make the video from the perspective that she wanted. I know she ain't gonna like this, but that's what I came up with. So that's the truth of the matter as far as everything I studied.